Hey guys, Tony here. I'm out at my friend Ben's place and today we're going to do a video on the Christie 4K 860 projector. Now, before anyone starts tearing strips off me in the comments section, yes, this is a very expensive projector, but look on my channel, you see I do all price ranges of projectors and I am being very fortunate to be able to have both the low end and now also the high end, and that's been the dream for me on my channel. So guys, sit back, relax, grab a drink because you're about to see a full installation of the Christie 4K 860 projector with a Lumagen processor, so stay tuned. G'day mate.
Hey buddy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. So guys, for the review, I took the Christie 4K 860 down to my good friend Ben's place, who actually has a full room tour of his amazing Star Wars themed home theatre on my channel. And as he has a giant 170-inch CinemaScope screen, I needed something worthy of testing out the high lumens output and capabilities of the projector, but also we invited our other mates Leo and Matt to come past later that evening to watch the movie Upgrade. Ben has an alcove for his projector which has active cooling in it, and once we installed it into place, it was time to start the setup. Before I go into the specs of the projector, the supplier also gave me a Lumagen video processor to pair with the Christie, because anyone who can afford a Christie will likely also be able to afford a Lumagen as well, and these two make a great combination for the ultimate cinematic image. The Lumagen works really well to tone map HDR content into an SDR container flawlessly, but also do things like shrink down the image to 16:9 instantly, so you don't need to use the lens memory feature of the projector. However, this Christie also has an incredible feature where you can set a preset to the constant image height. So without any zoom or shift, you can press a button on the remote to shrink the image instantly to 16:9, which is really cool, but I'll cover off that later. So after we installed the projector, it was time to install the Lumagen, and I do apologise to Ben because we had to tear his rack apart to do it. But hey, I got to see all of his cool Star Wars memorabilia, so I wasn't complaining. From there, I factory reset the Lumagen and got to setting it up for Ben's room, setting up the different presets and modes so that it would work automatically no matter what we were watching. I will have a full video on the Lumagen coming on the channel very soon, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss it. Once that was done, it was time to start aligning the projector to the screen, which is one of the easiest processes I've ever had to do with a projector. And the cool thing is that the alignment, shift, focus buttons are on the remote control, making the setup process a breeze. Christie has its pedigree in commercial cinema, and it is known to be highly rated for its brightness and image quality, but as someone who is super focused on black levels, I was very curious to see how it performed. While you watch some demos, I'll go over some of the specs of the Christie. First of all, it's priced at 27,999 Australian dollars, or around 12,000 US dollars, placing it at the lower end of the high-end projector market, as some of the Christies cost over $500,000 US dollars, so this is something that is affordable to those with a healthy budget who are after a high-end home cinema projector. Specs wise, we have a DLP 0.65 inch DMD paired with a blue laser, which means it is a pixel shifting 4K single chip, so the image is tack sharp, and for those that think pixel shifting means it can't be any good because it's not native 4K, think again. This 0.65 inch chip performs a 4-way shift, so you get incredible sharpness and a very detailed resolution. Combined with a high light output of 7200 ANSI lumens, you get a very detailed and bright image with a full on to off contrast of 1300 to 1, which is a very good indication of the in-picture contrast and dynamic range. And for a DLP projector with such a high light output, the picture was just effortless to watch. Christie also have a real black mode using laser dimming where it goes to full off, and a reported contrast of 3 million to 1. And again, for me, the picture when watching dark scenes was incredibly detailed and so easy to watch, being that the brightness didn't wash out the image at all. I felt like I was at the movies because the image signature was so familiar to me, being that a lot of movie theaters have Christie projectors in them. Dimensions and weight come in at 480mm long by 406mm wide and 157mm tall, and weighs only 15 kilos, so it's small enough to fit in Ben's alcove. The lens has a 1.25 to 2:1 throw ratio with a 1.6 times zoom through a motorized lens. We also have focus and lens shift, making this projector very versatile when it comes to placement, and while there is keystone as well, I recommend you just get the projector aiming dead straight and you can shift and zoom the image into place nice and easily. There is also 3D support, however we didn't test that out during our time with it. It's nice to know that it's there with the right setup. There are a number of other features to the projector, such as a control system compatibility, as well as advanced calibration controls where the projector can auto adjust and align itself if it has a special camera attached, but I didn't have any of that, nor did we calibrate it for this video. We just wanted to see how it performed out of the box with the Lumagen handling the tone mapping, but it is great to know that it has these features. In the configuration we were using, this projector does not have Rec 2020 SDR mode, so we had to place the projector and the Lumagen into Rec 709. However, I didn't feel that we were really losing anything at all here, with the Lumagen doing an incredible job with the tone mapping. Especially as this is such a large display, you can see from the demos just how beautiful the picture turned out to be. Again, with the Lumagen, you can set it to switch between 16:9 and 2.35:1 seamlessly. However, the projector also has these modes as mentioned earlier, and there is a button on the remote to quickly cycle through the different size presets. Either way, great features, and I have to say pairing with the Lumagen just brings out the best from the Christie. I felt that the image was very detailed and vivid, and that was without calibration. So once we had everything dialed in, it was time for the boys to show up and watch the movie Upgrade. It is not only a very cool movie, but there are loads of scene in there for dark and light, so it was really nice to get an idea of how the Christie performed. Now, it was after 2 AM at this point and the boys had a few drinks in them, but I still thought it would be a good idea to get feedback from them about their experience with the Christie. So we just finished watching the movie Upgrade, which has a lot of contrast and high brightness scenes, and I thought I'd ask Leo what he thought about how it rendered out those scenes. So what do you reckon, Leo? How was it?
Yeah, no, it was great. Obviously, a lot of brightness with over 8,000 lumens. In-picture contrast was exceptional, especially in those sort of mixed scenes, obviously where you got the brightness in the dark areas. Pretty quiet as well in operation, which was obviously nice as well, and yeah, just top performance, super projector.
What did you think of the colours?
The colours were great. You can obviously see there's a tone mapping built in, and they did a really good job.
So I've got my other buddy Matt over here, and he's going to let us know what he thinks about the Christie. What did you think?
Well, you know, Leo gave us all the... Oh, mic down there.
You just basically clipped that mic.
Leo gave you all the numbers and the technical info, but in terms of me watching it, super bright, crystal clear. Thought it was, yeah, I actually thought it was fantastic. One of the things that probably stood out for me was just in those, like, for the 170-inch screen, just those daytime scenes were absolutely bright. I have a JVC, I absolutely love it. I love the black levels in it, but this was a great watch.
For the pros, we have a high light output, making it great for large size screens. We also have a small and lightweight footprint, and the setup features made it incredibly easy to get it into place with buttons for zoom, shift, and to set into memory. The contrast is surprisingly good as well for a single chip DLP with an incredibly detailed image that was, I'll say again, effortless to watch. For the cons, I think the price will scare some people, but again, this brand is like the Ferrari of projectors, so it's actually pretty affordable in some respect, but I know that some people will still comment about the price. All I will say is that it's insanely good, and I would be very happy to have this in my setup. Another con for me was the lack of SDR 2020 mode, which I would have loved to have tested with the Lumagen doing the HDR tone mapping to SDR, going into Rec 709 instead. It was still an insanely good image, but I still would have liked to have seen that in action to compare the difference. A small con, and maybe I'm nitpicking, but I would have liked to have seen the backlight on the remote come on when you picked it up, as while I was setting it up in a dark room, I was having to turn my phone on to see what the buttons were. Other than that, I could not see much else wrong with the Christie 4K860. So I think that this projector is for someone with a large size screen that wants to have a picture that is super bright, easy to watch, and requires minimal setup to get the most out of it. While there is a lot that can be done with this projector, you will find that it is one of the easiest projectors to set up, which was really surprising. I think that a light controlled room is also a must with such a high light output, as you don't want reflections, and also someone that has a healthy budget. This is not an entry level projector. If you're in the market for one, I'll leave a link down below so that you can check it out if you're interested, and I'd like to thank Adrian from Cogworks for sending me both the Lumagen and the Christie projector in for the test. This was more of an exercise to see the process of installing a Christie projector, and I found the process quite easy. Yes, they are both going back to Cogworks, however I did order my very own Lumagen for my room, so I will be doing a full review on that, as I didn't really go in depth too much in this video about the Lumagen. However, all of the demos you watched today were with the Lumagen connected. Anyway guys, let me know what you think down in the comments section, and if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'll have more videos coming very soon, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe on the channel. However guys, that's it for this one. You'll catch me in the next one. Bye for now.